After Azimio's presser yesterday, one must ask the question. The articles you read in the press, the media reports, about Azimio being on its deathbed, those reports, did somebody sit down and truly, genuinely analyze it? Or was it forced analysis after somebody received money? It is important we ask that question, so that going forward, it will be easier to spot fake news. And there are very many genuine Azimio supporters on this channel who believed these reports. In fact, many people were at least very sure that these reports were partially true. People are saying, you can't convince me that Martha Karua is still talking to Raila Odinga. No way. Kila mtu ameenda njia yake. Raila is busy with ODM. Martha Karua is very far away from ODM. How can they still be talking? Impossible. Well, it emerged from yesterday's presser that actually what Azimio were doing was strengthening constituent parties. And they emphasized that Azimio is as strong as the parties, political parties, who are within Azimio. And super fascinating, the highlight of this Azimio presser was not what they said, but what they did not say. Because so many Kenyans, so many are waiting for Azimio to announce a return to Mandamano. That did not happen. There was no mention of that word that sends panic, very serious panic in State House and among some foreign nations as well. What? And the question has to be, will Azimio ever return to Mandamano? Will they ever? If you have been a regular on this channel, you will already know that that's very unlikely. And you'll also know why. In my opinion, Mandamanos are coming. The biggest Mandamanos the nation called Kenya has ever seen in its history. Yeah. And they will not be led by Azimio. That is the bad news. They'll be instigated and led by Kenyans who will just have had enough, fed up. And that kind of situation, as we'll all agree, is deadly. Because somebody who's fed up can do anything. Personally, I have found it more than fascinating that Azimio, through Martha Karua, mentioned the interference of powerful foreign nations in the affairs of Kenya. I found that more than fascinating, because it has very rarely happened in the past that our leaders have come out and directly complained about this. What Martha Karua said very briefly was that these powerful Western nations should keep off the politics of the nation called Kenya. You know, there are quite a number of countries around the world who have leaders who have been installed. Yeah, the people in that country don't want that leader. Yeah, however, some powerful people want that particular leader because that leader will serve their purpose. That particular leader is best suited to do what they want in that country, which does not really belong to them. Now, I don't know if you know this, but there's one thing that history tells us very clearly. These kinds of arrangements never end well. They never end well. They usually end up very, very badly. Time and time again. Sometimes it can take decades, like in the case of a man called Mobutu Sese Seko, who ruled what is today the Democratic Republic of Congo. In other cases, It takes a very short time. 2-3 years and somebody's gone. But without fail, history tells us such arrangements never work. But the feeling amongst the vast majority of Kenyans is that Azimio is not doing enough to liberate Kenyans, to save Kenyans from the draconian, very corrupt government that has no idea what it is doing, by the way. The government of UDA. Kenyans are in a hurry. Kenyans are in a terrible hurry. But Azimio seems to be moving way too slowly. Wanaenda pole pole sana, and Kenyans are hurting. That is the feeling with the vast majority of Kenyans right now. Very annoying, Azimio have even started talking about 2027, which is decades away. And this brings us to another mystery that has emerged in Kenyan politics. Usually, political parties will go on massive membership drives when the elections are just around the corner. They will not do so shortly after a general election. Never ever. But what is happening currently? All the constituent parties of Azimio have been on major membership drives. Very major. So major that those membership drives are unprecedented. So, are they doing this for distant 2027? Or do they know something that the rest of us Kenyans do not know? Actually, in my opinion, I believe the latter is true. Raila Odinga and the Azimio High Command know something that the vast majority of Kenyans do not know. And in my opinion, it is something that anybody who analyzes politics seriously should also know. And let me put it this way. You start on a journey from Mombasa to Nairobi, okay? And you're driving along, and even before you reach a place called Samburu, you notice that your vehicle engine is overheating. And so you stop to let your vehicle cool before you can continue the journey. And then you notice you have a puncture. And all these things are happening before you have even reached Voi. Now, using logic and common sense, are you able to say confidently that this vehicle is going to reach Nairobi today? Impossible. Impossible. This vehicle will never reach Nairobi today. And that is the situation of Ruto's government. Considering everything that is going down, it is not logical to expect this government to survive and reach the year 2027. I have repeatedly said on this channel, I don't expect the Ruto administration to last to the end of 2024. I will be surprised if it reaches the end of 2024. And this would neatly explain the heightened political activity of Azimio, in terms of parties going on membership recruitment drives, constituent parties strengthening themselves, etc., etc. In my opinion, that piece of information, that this vehicle will not reach Nairobi today, is what has caused Azimio to behave the way they are behaving, and it is what they know that most Kenyans seem not to know, and others do not want to believe. They trust state machinery too much. They think that somebody with state machinery can last forever without any brains to think. They will last because state machinery on its own can sustain a person in power. Not true. Not true at all. If you believe that, you don't understand politics. And also you don't understand the times you're living in. Even as a politician, for you to be able to benefit, for you to be able to go forward, you need to understand the times which we're living, so that you know what to do, and very important, so that you know what not to do. You see, on this channel, we have been saying for a very long time that we're in the season of judgment and exposure. And therefore, if you do dodgy things, this is not the time to do them. You need to shelve your plans for another season, not this one. Now, of course, some politicians have rubbished what we've been saying, and you can see what is happening to them. Many of them have been exposed, and others are about to be exposed. The season is critical. The season is always critical. And even you as an individual, in this season of hardships and unprecedented trouble, you need to know exactly what to do. Yeah, and that is why I want to remind you once again of my epic, unique, very valuable information filled How to Survive or Even Prosper in a Dead Economy. You can see details on your screens right now on how to get hold of it. Yeah. By now it should be clear. There should be no argument about what kind of season we have entered. There should be no argument at all. There should be no argument over what we should expect. Yeah, apart from what we have already seen, what we should expect going forward. Things are going to get worse, much worse. There should be no debate over that. Those are things that we have seen clearly. Okay? And so now, what you need very urgently is you need to know what to do. What I need to know very urgently is I need to know what to do. Okay? Because if I don't know what to do, then there is no guarantee that I will go through what is coming. That is how serious it is. And remember, when you purchase this series of mine, you'll automatically be sponsoring another less fortunate Kenyan to get the same. And of course, there's nothing stopping you from directly sponsoring some Kenyans less fortunate than yourself to get this information. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.